Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Ripster Daily Trade Recaps and Daily Teachings Red Market Special. Before we start, quick disclaimer, anything we discuss is just for educational purpose only and not a financial advice. Alright guys, amazing trend day today to the downside. If you struggle today, I have done many videos in this series of market red day, how to trade on a red day, how to grow your account on a red day. Of course the swings hitting, but you need to manage your swings, and also how to trade intraday, hedge or short the market, and how to have those parabolic winners. So we're going to discuss all that. If you struggle today, you must watch today's recap. A lot to learn today, so that next time this happens you do not miss the opportunities and you are able to manage your risk well. There is a complete playlist of the days like today. This is not the first time we did it. We do it all the time. Anyways, before we start, just a quick introduction to anybody who's new to our X accounts, new to our YouTube, or new to our community. So guys, we trade a repeatable system that thousands of traders across the world use to trade consistently. The system called Ripster EMA Clouds System. The system doesn't consist of so Ripster EMA Cloud System is just not the indicators or that I invented. It also consists of all the teachings, all the concepts that I teach day in day out, that I've been teaching for 7-8 years now freely, as well on Ripster Education website, or I teach in my community, or I teach you guys on YouTube and on X. So our system is how you trade. Setup is what you trade. So our system lets us know when to short, when to long, where to short, where to long, and these are repeatable setups. There's 14, 15 repeatable setups that we trade day in and day out, intraday. Even if it's your swing trading, we have repeatable setups. For investments, we have repeatable setups. But we'll focus on today's intraday action. How to find those setups. To find those setups, we are going to do a webinar soon on the pre-market planning. But anyways, we create a plan. Me and my team, we create a plan for the day in the pre-market. We could create a detailed plan where we focus on the our news plays, earning plays, index stocks, or upgrades, downgrades, and we create a plan. I highlight anything which is important. I highlight it as a red. Anything which is which we want to focus on, so the traders can focus on. I make this plan live in the pre-market on a live screen share, so the traders are ready when the market opens. And there are various setups. Some setups are at the open. There are concepts like amateur moves. Some are at trend moves. Some at 10 a.m. midday setups. Everything is based upon our Ripster EMA Cloud System, and we are always on the right side of the trend. As you see, I always shares things before the move, not hindsight. So just to show you the power of the system. So we also trade something called day 2, day 3 strategy. This is another strategy that I invented. We make a plan for this strategy in the pre-market as well. PLTR, CRWV, Circle, those are some of our top plays today that we focused on from the day 2 repeatable strategy. We also trade. We also provide the daily levels for the ETFs, for the index stocks, so the traders can trade those using Ripster EMA Cloud System. I did do a detailed webinar on this as well. You can watch that webinar in the community. So we will go through these names. We will go through the levels, and we will talk about it, how these worked, how you could short the market today for your account growth using these levels. We also trade crypto stocks. We'll take a look at MSTR today. We provide these levels in the plan in the pre-market. Some traders just like to trade these stocks. We also trade future. Huge day for futures short, especially on NASDAQ futures short. It was a beautiful, huge day. And yeah, so with that plan, we are ready at the open. I'm usually on voice first few hours of the market open, and usually I'm all day around guiding my traders in the community on how to manage the day, where's a long or a short, making sure my traders are not taking any wrong trades. They are always on the right side of the trend. Trainer Trade Group is one of the largest trading communities online. We have the largest trading floor where thousands of traders are all day sharing ideas on the floor. We are not an alert service. We are an educational based service where everybody is trading the same system, with which I try to show you all the setups. We have a lot of tools in the community. We have 3-4 option flow scanners. We have stock scanners. We have breaking news alerts, audio news quacks, halt unhalt alerts, order flows, support resistance alerts. We have tools worth $500-600, which are free for the traders who join the community. They can use those tools. Anyways, that's a quick introduction. So what we do, I will show you my timestamp comments from my dedicated feed in the community, and I'll show you how the traders, we did have 25% people right in the community, but we always try to work on that and improve. But overall, it was a big day for most of the traders because we were short biased today. So let's start with the recap. If you struggle today, pay attention, and next time you will do much better. All right, so let's start with the SPY QQQ today. So, you know, the market has personalities. The market has personalities, which I call as a split personalities. You know, some days market would go sideways, like yesterday. If you remember yesterday, I pointed out that today is not a day to mess with the SPY QQQ NASDAQ futures, because yesterday was a consolidation day. It was a contraction day. From the contraction comes expansion. So today we expanded to the downside on SPY, and we did the same on QQQs. Few things to note here, because the market consists of various indices. We have S&P, SPY, we have QQQs, the NASDAQ, semiconductor, tech heavy. We have Dow Jones, the dividend stocks. We have IWM. Those indices which we track every day. We also use VIX, which is our repeatable strategy, which I'll show you in a minute. And then we also keep eyes. I just tweeted about something that you should watch, how to track the market like pro. So yeah, so you have to watch US dollar, the yields, bonds, VIX. You know, you have to track the market using them. Today, the US dollar really ramped up. VIX really ramped up, which we always plan for that. So when we know that, when we know these key concepts, we can handle the market much better. We can avoid going long when there is no long. We can short the market, and we can make money shorting the market, of course, using our risk rewards. So anyways, so big red day on the market. So how did we plan for it? So let's take a look at our pre-market planning. Our pre-market planning on SPY was, market is under MTF clouds. MTF clouds is one of the indicators that I invented based on the EMAs. So it's under all our Ripster MTF clouds. So market is 1 hour is already bearish on the market. So the plan was simple. If VIX pushes over 15, watch out. Means if it pushes over 15, no longs, you should short it. Under the yesterday lows, you should short it. Only long if VIX stays under 15. That's more for SPY. Today was a little weird. I'll talk about that. But VIX never really gave us a reason to long the market. Now the NASDAQ was heavy right out of the gate. So we were short NASDAQ first. We were not short SPY. We were short NASDAQ out of the gate. NASDAQ was heavy because NVDA, one of the biggest stocks in the world, big part of the NASDAQ. So that was taking it down. SPY, which was initially strong, you know, failed on this resistance, and it gave a short later on the MTF rejections. But when this was happening, the Max 7s were still weak. So the concepts we used today were the morning flushes, and there was this 10 AM bounce, and then rejection of the yesterday's lows. So that means support becomes a resistance, and then you re-short it. Do you re-short with that resistance? You buy the puts, you short NASDAQ futures, whatever you want to do. Because we as a traders look for a defined level of risk. When we look for a defined level of risk, it's easier for us to take a trade. Even when the NASDAQ futures popped up to that yesterday lows, we know that's a resistance. We can take the short there. And Ripster Cloud System is the best system, you know, that you can use to trade every day. No better system. And you know it's a short. Our biases are short. Even if this is popped, you know, you cover here and you short all day, hold your shorts all day long. And it's not just a talk. We do it all the day. So let me show you my timestamp guidance. So as soon as the market opened, you know, we were bearish there. I did tweet it out as well that bearish start as NASDAQ breaks under yesterday lows. And we have to watch VIX 15. Simple as that. VIX strategy, changing lives. You can go and learn at ripstereducation.com. So we were bearish, right? So at that point, we know that we are bearish. We're going to try to make profit of the bearish market. So we shorted. You short QQQ, or you can do leverage ETFs. I always teach you to do, go long on SQQQ. So go long on SQQQ. You can short either way. You long SQQQ, or you buy puts, or you short Nasdaq futures. So we were short right out of the gate, 932. I told the traders to short it. I said short futures, short QQQ. Put your stops as break even. So stop somewhere here over the 512s. And as we flushed into 10 a.m., and I also said if SPY can join the QQ party, that will be even better. And the SPY did join the party later. So we covered our shorts into 10 a.m. right? Then rest stops we put at 575.50, right? So we put our stops right here on the top, 575.50 or this 512 clouds. Never pushed over that. And then when we got rejected right here, I told the traders that we held 512, means we held the bearish. So hold your shorts. They are still heavy. 570, I gave the next target to the traders. On the runners, I gave the 570 target. As you see, I gave the 570 target at 11 a.m. and we hit our 570 there. QQQ stayed bearish. QQQ still short, and we hit our MTF target. From the top fade, almost $5 per share profit. You traded QQQ longs. You got nicer profit there. The QQQ puts today, if you want to look at the puts, even if you traded with, let's say, 1,000 shares, right, $1,000 worth of your puts, by the end of the day, even those went crazy. Let's look at 575 puts here. So 575 puts went from $1 to $5, 500% gain. But you need to be patient. You need to hold those puts, because you're risking 100%, but you're trying to make 300, 400, 500%. That's how you trade if you're trading the options, right? Of course, you can trade the Nasdaq futures short, you can trade the SQQQ long, and the SPY joined later. You could short the SPY as well as soon as the VIX bounce, right? So what did I say in the pre-market? VIX over 15, we stay short buys. So as soon as VIX pushes over 15, you short SPY as well. It pushed over 15 right at 1040, 1050. That was your short on the SPY as well, where you join that short and then you hold it all day long. And the other way was to short the Magnificent 7. So anyways, that's how we made big money on the SPY QQQ market short that I explained it to you in detail. So now let's take a look at how we were also short Magnificent 7. So let's do some analysis on that. All right, so let's take a look at the Magnificent 7. So Magnificent 7, the stocks which are biggest part of the S&P, QQQ. So if you look at them, they were bearish. They were all bearish. Let's take a look here. So we'll take a look at NVDA later when we look at the semiconductors. But do you see Netflix short right off the gate? Meta all day fade short. Microsoft all day fade, 10 a.m. bounce short. Amazon, a little choppy, but still a short. Coin MSTR will look separately. Google short. So you see that we will recap Tesla later, but you see that you could short anything. You can buy puts on anything, short the shares on any of those, because you know that market is heavy. VIX is bouncing. VIX is over 15. It's a red day. It's a selling day. And not only the stocks which were selling were the Mag 7, the overvalued stocks, because they run. Those are the first ones which dump, right? That's how the circle, the PLTR, the stocks which are overvalued based upon whatever your fundamental analysis is, like ASTS, HIMS, they were selling off as well. I did tweet about that as well. Let me show you here. So if you see that in the morning, I tweeted about the list of the stocks which are getting hit harder, high flyers, all of these, insane amount of. You just buy puts, stay short, stay small sizes. If you are uncomfortable, stay small size. Learn how to trade the red market. Learn how to ride all day long. You don't have to short buy 10 puts. You don't have to short 500,000 shares. Just small sizes. Even the small sizes, even if you were short 100 shares, you risked $100, you could make $600-700 today, right? Depending on your account size, what you do. But this is how we consistently make profits. That's the secret of our success, that we do it again and again and again. Go watch the thousands of recaps, previous YouTube video, shorts, and everything is real time. The system is the best. And if you are having your investing, let's say you're invested, you have swings which are getting hurt, the first of all, you should maintain a separate account for your swings and your day trades. And when you're buying as your investments, you always buy investments on corrections. So when you buy investments on correction, these 1 or 2 red days don't really matter. At the big picture, we're still bullish. It's just the healthy market goes up, pulls back, consolidates, goes up. So these 1 or 2 day pullbacks should not hurt your investments, because yes, if you are buying the investments at the top of the circle, of course they're going to be hit harder, but that's something you have to manage and not panic on these red day sells. At the same time, you can short and hedge and cover your investment swing losers with being short in your day trade account. So that's how you manage everything together, and you cut your swings if they're breaking key pivots, they're breaking Ripster clouds, use Ripster clouds, break increase support, learn the support resistance concepts. They are the most important. So anyways, that's how the Mag 7 was short, another winner for us. Let's take a look at the next one. So the next one we're going to talk about is semiconductors. Okay, so semiconductors, I have a list. I have a full list that we track every day. I create this watch list that I share with the traders. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see if I can show you that. You see this list here. These are semiconductors: AVGO, AMD, ARM, Taiwan Semi, right? So you could literally short all of those, or you could short SOXS. Or SOXS, you can go long. The leverage ETFs, you can go long when semiconductors are selling, or you can short SOXL. Right, but the biggest semi, the boss, the leader is NVIDIA. So what did we do? And you guys know, if you look at the daily chart, that NVIDIA has been running for a long time, right? So it was due for a kind of a correction, and that's why we focus on NVIDIA. We know it's been running crazy, and it's a matter of time. We get a big red pullback candle, and we got it today, and we were ready for it. So let's take a look here. So the game plan on NVIDIA, let's go back. The game plan on NVIDIA was, let's take a look. There was some news, Morgan Stanley under on mega cap, working on a new chip in China. I said only long over yesterday highs, no go under 182, right? So what, it did not push over yesterday highs, so there's no long. So we already know we are not longing it, so now we know we're going to short it. So how do we know we're going to short it? Mark QQQ is heavy. NVIDIA breaking MTF cloud, you short it. MTF short, I gave it at first 5 minutes, you short it. Your stops right over MTF clouds, breaking the yesterday lows, you short it. 10 a.m. bounce, you short it, right? And we move the stops down. Look here, I gave the stops 180, 150. We never hit the stops. All day, hold, and then there was a bear flag. I mentioned the bear flag. The target I gave was 177. We hit our 177, and the rest of it we put our stops at 177.50, and NVIDIA is still fading after hours. So even if you short it, let's say you short 1,000 shares, you're risking $1,000, right? You're still making $4 grand. Even if you scale out, you still will make $3 grand. Or if you're 500 shares short, you will make at least 1,500, 200. And if you're buying the 1,500, 2,000, and if you're buying the puts, that's fine too, which gave you 100% returns as well, because we have a risk defined, right? So that's why you made my timestamp guidance on that, and you can always trade leverage ETFs, NVDS, NVDL. You can trade those leverage ETFs. You can short NVDL, or you can go long on NVDS. When you go long on NVDS, you can buy 3,000 shares at 1170. By the end of the day, you make a decent returns, risking $300, $400. You make $1,000. For small accounts, you could stick with that. Or the large account, just short NVIDIA, or buy puts, whatever you want to do. So NVIDIA, beautiful, successful short trade for us. Showed you the pre-market planning, timestamp guidance. I also shared on Twitter. Beautiful day. Let's go to the next one. All right. So next we want to watch CRWV. All right. So why CRWV? Why were we short CRWV? Let's say let's go to this chart here so it's more clear. So why were we short CRWV, right? So you see that if you look at the daily chart, the CRWV has broken down. You see that it tried to bounce, failed the Ripster clouds, 50 MTFs, failed, been bearish, and it tried to reclaim 100. It could not. So that was huge. Second time it broke 100. First time it tried to bounce over 100, and this time it flushed. So why were we focused on CRWV? Let's look at our pre-market planning on CRWV. It's our day 2 setup. So let's go to our day 2 planning here. So CRWV, I highlighted it as one of the main plays. 1 hour MTF up, support 96.70, 98.75 resistance. So as soon as that broke, and market was heavy, remember, market was heavy. So that's why CRWV was an A+ short. Nasdaq was heavy. Everything was selling off. So I told the traders on the voice that short CRWV, put your stops at 96.50. Right here, your shorts. Wherever you short it. If you're shorting here, if you're 94s, I told 936. Even then, you're doing $2 risk. But by end of the day, you did make $5 there. So if you miss that, you wait for the pops. You just have to identify your risk. You can take a smaller size short as well. Anyways, my two targets were 91 and 90. By end of the day, we hit 90 target as well, and we hit a little bit more. Once it curled over 512s, we exited our shorts. Did give us a nice 512 curl from 90 all the way to 92s. You could trade long if you want with your stops here, but that was a successful trade. CRWV short, beautiful winner. Let's go to the next one. All right, so next one we're going to take a look at is PLTR. So let's take a look at PLTR. So what was PLTR doing? Okay, so PLTR actually a big home run today for us. Big home run. The reason being, let's see here, my MTF clouds here. Let's take a look. My 20 MTF is not working on this one. Let me see if I can fix it. Yeah, there we go. So CRWV broke 20 MTF today. CRWV broke 20 EMA on daily chart, and it also has a gap fill on the daily chart. So that tells me that there's a lot of room. And not only that, we know that CRWV is kind of, PLTR. So PLTR was kind of overvalued, but even if it was overvalued, doesn't really matter. It was still bullish until today. So PLTR today made one of the biggest candle at high volume. Look at the volume here. You can always check Ripster volume candles, the volume label, to see that the volume of the sell-off. So as soon as I saw that 20 MTF breaking down, and of course PLTR, I moved PLTR to top of our day 2 plays, number 3 day 2 top play. So as soon as I saw that, this is a pre-market planning. I did mention on the voice in the pre-market that we're going to focus on PLTR, because even yesterday you saw that the PLTR had some bearish news, but it continued to hold this day before yesterday's lows. But today, once it broke the 2021 MTF, I told the traders 2021 MTF short. The target I gave was 160. I gave the target early in the morning. At 9:40, I gave the target, and we did hit 160 by middle of the day. And still then we did not cover. There's no reason to cover. Short, stay short, stay short, stay short. We put our stops at 159. I even tweeted about it, that PLTR we going to put, and you can see that I was continuously mentioning that on my Twitter as well. You ride the clouds, right? You do not cut. As long as clouds are bearish, you stay bearish. Right, so we put our stops at 159, and even then, a lot of traders are swinging the puts or swinging the shorts. It's right at 144. It hit our 155 target. So I was still targeting 155. You see that 155 target, and we did hit after hours. So we did hit our 155 target. After hours on that, you can see that 155 hit closer to our MTF, filled the gap a little bit below. We'll see what it does tomorrow, but it was a home run, right? You can trade the puts, or you can trade the leverage ETFs. Even if you're trading 160 lottos, they went from $1 to $5, 300-400% gain. But you need to be patient, read the clouds, follow the clouds. And you see that we never pushed over the clouds, so there was no reason. And you could short here too. A lot of traders short here, and I did mention that PLTR still heavy. I did alert that failed curl try, never curled. So you short here. You can short it all day long for PLTR with the system. Again, pre-market planning, live guidance, no hindsight, no BS, no after the fact. That's how we're doing it. That's how our traders are consistently doing good, even in the red market. So next one was MSTR. I didn't personally focus too much on MSTR, but when market is heavy, Nasdaq is heavy, Bitcoin is heavy, you need to focus on these plays. That's why we have it on our daily list. You can see that how MSTR broke down under that daily level. Daily level, super bearish, daily level, shorts in the play. It faded almost $30, 700 shares, $3,000 worth of profit there. And I did mention on the voice that it's a better short than coin. I mentioned that. If you go to our pre-market planning, you can see that once this 361 level was gone, that was it. You short it, right? You short it, put your stops right here at 362 and ride it all the way down. Market is bearish, Nasdaq bearish, Wix elevated, Bitcoin was a little bearish, so that becomes an A plus short. Coin did join it as well. So whenever market is dumping, you need to focus on MSTR coin. Whenever Bitcoin is dumping, and you can trade those. Pretty bearish. We'll see what coin does at 300, but definitely both of them good trades in the community today. All right, let's look at some of our other plays here. We had Home Depot, which was our earning play. Let's take a look. Home Depot was working really nicely, but with the market so heavy, the long setups usually get impacted. So the plan on Home Depot was 400 support, 405 resistance, long versus 400, MTF below, bullish bias, no go under the MTF. So let's see how the Home Depot panned out for us. So if we look here, Home Depot was a long right of the gate and it was working. The target I gave everybody was 410. The stop was 402.50. So we did hit our 410 target pretty soon by 9:45, and then we plan to hold it into 10 a.m. do not pike, and then we broke the flag and we pushed towards our next target of the 415. Now once we pushed over the 415 at 10 a.m. we got a big rejection, and then it pulled back, bounced over the 512s. We held, pushed back to 412, and finally we closed it when it broke under our 512 clouds. So it was okay trade, nothing too crazy because of the market and everything. You could actually short it later here as well, but if you see that our 400 long right off the gate, that worked, but we gave back some profits when it pulled back and we had to cut it here. That's why we take profits at 10 a.m. We close half of more position there. So that was a Home Depot. Next one, let's look at PANW. PANW again, when the market is heavy, you see these kind of failures. So let's see what was the plan on PANW for us. The PANW, the plan was bullish bias, long over pre-market levels, no go under 185, 184. So we longed it right at the open. This first candle, if you look at it, pushed to the 189. We held it, but you see we did not hold the pre-market highs. So that was our first warning. So we longed it, we put our stops at 186. Our breakout was 190. We never got our breakout. As soon as it broke under this 512, I told the traders exit the longs. You can see the second candle, and I told the traders you can short it. So we shorted small size, stops over 186.50 for a gap and crap. You can see that guidance here. And when we broke, I told if we break 184, we're gonna go lower. We broke the 184. We hit let's draw our Fibonacci here. So if I can show you the Fibonacci, we pushed and we hit our 182 Fibonacci. So as soon as you flip short here, you could make $3 short and cover your morning amateur losers. So this was amateur loser long. You can see this first candle, but we don't hold on. We exit right away. You see within 6-7 minutes, I told the traders to cut it. So, we lost like $2 per share there, and we shorted it, and we, covered $3 on the short side. And it was still short. The gap and crap did work. It did go sideways, but failed to curl, held a downtrend line, and faded to the almost close to our MTF target. So the short was loser and the gap and crap worked. So always analyze this way. Remember the levels 185, 184 in the pre-market. So PANW, long loser, gap and crap, winner. Let's go to the next one. So next one we're going to look at is Tesla. So let's take a look what happened with Tesla. So just when there was one strong stock, which was Tesla. But again, whenever I see the rest of the market super duper heavy, because QQQ was heavy, I'm always a little cautious, right? So we did long Tesla versus 335, 336, and our stops were at 336. And we did push at 340s, and you see that we longed at 10 a.m. looking for that breakout because it was showing a relative strength. But suddenly there was some news on the California and it flushed and we stopped out. We stopped out, hit our stops, and our stops hit and we were out, and that's fine. This, you need to know that when the whole market is dumping, you need to be careful and you need to manage your risk much better. You can't let this loser wipe away all your other gains and make it a huge loser. You could short it under the MTF and short it all day long. There was a bearish news, market was bearish, you could short all long. Of course, there was a lot of flow today, but it was not a good day for Tesla to break out. If market was relatively stronger, we didn't have that bad news, we could have had a good trade on Tesla. So it's easier to say, oh, it did not work for us, but why it did not work, right? I see a lot of traders are more bullish bias. I would rather trade more short setups with more today, like I showed you, rather than going too crazy on a long setups on a day like today. So that was Tesla was a loser for us, but did not let the loser hurt all the magnificent home runs we had today. So let's go to the next one. I'm just going to cover some of other hotties, the hottie list. They were all short today. TEM, HIMS, ASTS. We trade them all day. They are on our game plan every day. These are our day 2, day 3 setup. You see TEM was our top day 2, day 3 setup, and even TEM was a short right out of the gate, right? So these are because these are those stocks which are they run more in an environment where high growth stocks are paid more, and these are the first ones to dump, and these provide great opportunities. That's why I even tweeted about it, that the high flyers are dumping, like ASTS, amazing short, right? So this is HIMS, amazing short. So you need to focus on these names whenever the market dumps like this. It was an easy short there as well. Then comes our day 2, day 3 strategy, DUOL, MDB. They all will show short. Why? Yesterday you saw that we made profit on the long side, but why do I put them on my day 2, day 3 list? Why that? Because they ran so much yesterday. Everybody who bought today in today's bearish market, they will sell. You see DUOL dumped from the game plan, MDB that dumped from the game plan, PLTR day 2s. So this is the day 2, day 3 repeatable strategy that you need to focus on. Easy shorts under the clouds. Similarly, 10 a.m. rejections. You see everything rejected around that. From that pop, everything popped and rejected. Same for MDB, same for the market. Everything rejected there when we had that dumps on day 2, day 3. Even First Solar gave up as well. So those were our day 2, day 3. I told the traders no long there. MDB, DUOL, both are short. DUOL was like a home run for us, fade, right? So you have to plan. If I don't plan, I'm never going to make these home runs. So that's how you trade the red day, guys. This is how you make the best of the red day and grow your account red day. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.